The following is stated in the 14th verse of the chapter of Al-Mu'minun. Then we made the sperm into a clot of congealed blood. Then of that clot we made a foetus lump. With this verse, the Quran points to some stages of man in the mother's womb. The first stage mentioned in the verse is the stage in which the drop, that is, the nutfa, turns into clinging clot, that is, the alaka. The second stage is the stage in which the clinging clot, that is, the alaka, turns into a lump of chewed meat. In this proof, we want to analyze the stage of turning into a lump of chewed meat, which is mentioned in the verse. Indeed, the embryo in the womb is in the appearance of a lump of chewed meat, both because of its smallness and unformed bones. Besides, it is interesting that the embryo has a shape as if it has tooth marks on it during a certain period while in the womb. That is why the expression of the Quran, a lump of chewed meat, is a miraculous statement, which is absolutely correct. The expression, a lump of chewed meat, is mentioned in the 5th verse of the chapter of Al-Hajj as a morsel of flesh, partly formed and partly unformed. Indeed, at this stage the embryo is perceptibly visible, but so inappreciable in shape, it is impossible to comprehend its details, and thus it is in complete compliance with the Quran's expression. A morsel of flesh, partly formed and partly unformed. It is very suitable to use the expression, a morsel of flesh, partly formed and partly unformed, for the stage in which some single body parts of man become perceptible, but some other parts not such perceptible as head, body. Dr. Keith L. Moore says the following about the stage which is mentioned as a lump of chewed meat in the Quran. We learned what the aforementioned verses mean in astonishment when we examined the embryo of this stage. For there becomes a string of beads appearance on the embryo on and around the 28th day, and they identically look like tooth marks in appearance. We made a plastic model of the embryo of this stage and marked with our teeth marks by chewing it. The generated model extremely looked like the embryo of the stage of which we were examining, and that explained very well why the Quran describes the human embryo as a lump of chewed meat.